In other words, darling, kiss me. Hey, look, the wallpaper finally matches the headphone. Finally! I fucked up that AKG one years ago, and I just never left me. I hope Grado's ready for another, Grado is ready for another ass-kicking, kissing. GS1000i's. Now, these. If you go back, I reviewed, this is only the third set of Grados I've ever reviewed. First set was the SR60s. And I liked them. For their price, they were just phenomenal. They were light, they were built, but they were built in Brooklyn. So, I mean, it's okay when you're built in Brooklyn and you're cheap. You gotta work it out. And then I did the PS500s. And I was like, how much these cost? $500-600. What? Why are they using the same headband as the $60 one? And why are my ears bleeding? I can't, the blood won't stop coming out of my ears. And that was the one that really everyone sort of like saw, because I was bigger than when I did the SR60s. And here we are with the GS1000i's. And you know, the I means it was a newer series, but before I started doing all of this, before this came to fruition, and I was just some schmuck using Sennheiser 280 Pros forever. That was it. Like, I spent $80 on headphones, and that's all I could afford at the time, because, you know, when you're a kid, it's just what you can afford. It's $80 headphones. This is what I had, like, a picture of, and it was my dream of, like, oh my God, $1,000 Brooklyn made with the wood. I bet they're the best. I bet they're the best. And I actually heard them maybe 3 or 4 years after I thought that statement. Actually, they were still being sold. It was New York Audio Show. It was the Woo Audio booth, because Grado doesn't show up at the shows for whatever reason. And the Grado room had the Fireflies. Like, the Firefly was brand new whenever that was. 2013? 2014? 2012? I don't know. The point is, the Firefly was the newest tube amp that he had ever... So he had a bunch of headphones to test, and he had these to test. And hands down, when I put them on at the New York Audio Show in whatever year that was, and I played whatever was playing through it, something I'm sure very audiophile grade. Not this. Oh, the Beatles are terrible. And no one can tell me otherwise. Oh, that's the wrong knob. And I remember hearing them and going, wow. For like 40 seconds. That's all I was able to listen to them, was 40 seconds, because it's the audio show and you gotta move on. But these were always that, like, the Lamborghini poster on everyone's wall was always the Countach or the Diablo. It was always that. And then you meet them and it's sort of like, you know. And I met these and I wasn't, I was like, ooh. Fast forward to this all happening. Someone contacts me from Israel. Not Israel Queens. There is no Israel Queens. There's Israel and Israel. I was like, hey, I have these I want to send you. And that's the first person that's offered me the high-end Grados. Probably because of the PS500. No one wants to touch me. But he's like, hey, yeah, I have them. And I'm like, so I'm from New York and went to Philly, and then from Brooklyn went to Israel, went these headphones, and now they're coming back for a review. And I was like, all right, this works. Michael Jackson's on. John Coltrane, here we go. So I got them after I'd been through the ringer. I think I've officially could say I've been through the ringer of headphones. And I've tried to stay away from bullshit, and I've tried to stay away from expending... I've tried to stay away from spending too much, but I can officially count this as my job, so... Let's write it off. Anyway, these showed up. And I took them out of the box, and I went, oh, fuck. Who picked an extension cord? Did they just have, like, extra extension cords to just dick around? It's thicker than the 1/4-inch jack. That is officially no-no territory. That's how we're doing it from now on. I've just decided in 1 second, if the cable is wider than the 1/4-inch headphone jack on the cable, you fucked up. It's not that long, but it's heavy. If I whipped you with this cable, you would not enjoy it, unless you enjoyed it. And don't PM me about that. And of course, it goes to this big block, and then it goes to these slightly lighter, smaller cables that are soft, because it's what, and it goes attached into the goddamn things. And then the pads are the pads that are just always the pads. And actually, these are the new pads. These are the original pads, and I was gonna pick up a set of, because he bought these are the cheap replacements, and these are the originals, and you can see there's a depth change, but they are just falling apart. Literally they are. I have to not. They're just gonna make a mess. So push comes to shove, they show up, I put them on, I'm like, and they got the same fucking headband as the 60s. They just, whatever model she's wearing in this background, which by the way, backgrounds are available to download in every description of every Z Reviews, or you get a link to a thing in the Patreon. If you join the Patreon, there is a wallpaper like mass list that you can download. Whatever pair she's wearing, same headband. Grado makes one headband. Just one. Obviously, all you need is one, and you never need to re-engineer it because it's perfect. These plastic bits here that are 2 pieces of plastic clamshelled around both the head strap and the little slidey adjustment thing, those never crack and break apart and then make your headphones useless. I mean, they do, but I'm sure no one told anybody that works at Grado that. Anyway, so I get these formerly $1,000 plus headphones, and they've got all these fucking quirks, and the pads, luckily he changed the pads and then sent the other pads, and I'm just putting them on, and I'm like, well, what other accessories does it have? Well, since it comes with an attached cable, a very fucking heavy attached cable, it's nice of them to include an extension in case you want to use them further away because you can't change the wires. So here's the extension they've included, which is also Grado branded. Hold on, we're getting to it. Oh, there we go. Yeah. That is like a 15-foot, 12.5-foot extension. Not as thick, luckily, as the actual cable, but why would it be? They can't afford that. And here's a little Grado 1/4-inch to 3.5mm adapter, and that's nice of them to include it. I like that it's branded by them. It's not some generic. I don't know where the wires are made, but let's just put that on the floor. We'll put that back here. If you want to get to the point of these headphones, I want to get to the big fuck you. I bought them from the guy. He was going to sell them. He sent them to the U.S. He's like, hey, I'm considering selling them, and if someone in the U.S. buys it, would you hold on to them? And then, you know, this way I don't have to ship them back to Israel and from it. And I was like, how much? And he said a number, and I went, like $50 below that number. And he was like, yes. Because that stops any other people. No one has to ship anything to anybody. That's $50 worth it right there. So, fuck. I don't need headphones. Every time I buy a set of headphones and talk about them on my channel, I'm like, well, I don't need headphones. And I bought the Lamborghini Countach that was on my wall. I bought it. I've like, this is it. I've made it in the headphone game. I'm a reviewer on YouTube, and I want a pretty set of wood headphones to put on the wall because I don't think the 560s count. Did I buy them just because they look like what you'd expect an audiophile headphone to look like? I don't give a shit what your thoughts are on Grado. They look the part. They also sort of sound the part. Now, I'm not going to just turn into a puddle of goo and start heart-throbbing about how these are the greatest headphones I've ever owned. They're not. They're not the greatest headphones I've ever owned. I don't know what those are. Your L700. I have L700s. I bought L700s, and literally a week and a half after I spent the monies on fucking the best stacks I've ever heard. Hey, I gotta throw these into my fucking list. Okay. Why? I hear that that's the comment. That's the most repeated Control F on the fucking YouTube video. Why? Just 35 results. Because these are unlike other headphones. And that's, at this point in the game, I'm just looking for uniqueness. They are the lightest. Like weight, physicality, weight. They are like, if you're gonna, at least with this whole cheap shittiness, and it is still shitty and cheap, I will not bend on that. There's no, like, oh look, this is probably soft. Ugh. I left a mark. But they're so light. The headband doesn't even need padding. Now, these slidey things are going to break. I'm sure of it. And when that happens, I'm probably going to go to AutoZ. I'm going to buy their $200 carbon fiber fucking thing. I'll put that on there, because why not? Or I'll buy any other set of headphones for under $200 and just destroy them and put the headband on. I do plan on changing out the attached wire to 2.5mm, which will probably happen on my Twitch stream, by the way. In case you don't know, I have a Twitch stream. It's in the description. Happens 2 days a week. Probably not today. I don't know what day I'm releasing this video, so I can't verify that. But subscribe to that, and maybe you'll watch me do lots of weird shit for extended hours of time. My plan is, my goal with these, why did I buy these, Zias? You still haven't gotten to the point. Shut up. I bought them because they're a challenge, because they are unique, and because I need to fix them. I need to fix them. They have so much potential to be amazing. Like, if just the cable was detachable, and I'm gonna make this fucking cable detachable, it's gonna have 200mm. I have all the cables that Periat sent me to test on my 2000Xs. The 2000Xs I converted to 2.5mm. I'm gonna have all those cables, and then maybe I'll fix this headband to be not stupid. And I don't know about the pads yet, because I'm kind of just... My friend has the RS1s, I think they are. And he's been a Grado fag forever. He's just, oh, I love fucking Grado. Grado's the greatest thing ever. And I hated them a little bit more because of him. You know that one friend who's constantly talking about a game or a car? And even though before his opinion you were okay with that game or car, as soon as they started fucking talking about it, you're like, you know what? Fuck Mustangs. Because you have a Mustang and that's all you talk about. Fuck them. So immediately when you go to get money and buy a car, you're like, I'm not buying a Mustang because Greg or Evan, that little shit, fucking constantly talking about how much he loves that fuck you. And I was getting there with the Grados. I was getting there because he had the SR80s, and then he got the RS1s. Like, oh, they're so great. And then the pads will break in after a while. I'm like, but the pads suck. And these pads are not. They're just foam. And I guess this, thank God, it's not that. And these are a little bit maybe softer. But it's just like, but okay. All right. Did I rant a little bit? It's okay. I do get a little energetic with these Grado reviews. I'm tubing these because we've still got to get to Y. I know we haven't gotten to the Y yet. In my mind, I've got that, you know, get to the Y. Because they're a challenge. Because I need to fix them. It's as soon as I got them, before I even, like, heard them, I was like, can I just fucking cut that wire off and put a real wire? Which will be very hard or very easy, because here's the back and you can see this metal mesh and you can actually see the driver in there and where it's soldered and the cable comes up. But then you go to the other side and it's like, oh, how do I take this apart? These drivers are glued in place. So if I want to actually get in there, pull the driver out with the wire, cut it, and then solder it, that involves removing the glue around my now officially not sold anymore vintage Grados, pulling this out. So I may be a piece of shit because I could literally push the wire up into the body of the unit, because it's I use that made in America Grado built in Brooklyn excuse for build quality. But at some point, it's like, you know what? Maybe you should build them not in China, but somewhere else for where there's less rent. Because that's the thing. I know in Brooklyn, he's got to be paying a fucking fortune. Put a place in South Dakota, build Grados some there, and then, you know, figure out a better system to put the drivers in than glue. It's like it's a DIY operation out of a garage forever, since they started. But anyway, doing all that work to it is I want to do it immediately. So I bought them. Now I'm going to fucking do it, because I'm promising on this video to do it on a live stream. You put them on, and they weigh nothing. Like officially, now by the way, I put them all the way down to wear them, and I don't know why. It shouldn't be that. My head isn't like tiny, but this seems to work. You put them on and you start shuffling tracks, and the first thing you'll know, well, not the first thing you notice, but the first thing I noticed was they cannot handle low end at all. Zero low end. In fact, distortion will happen on anything that's like super bass. Like if you get some John Carpenter bass going on right now, that's fine. They can handle like a roll and but you put Dead Mouse on and you expect them to do pump, pump, pump. They don't. They go, No, they don't do that. It's not what they're for. Just like you can't parallel park Lamborghini Countach, these do not do low end. But I have other headphones that can do low. See, here's again, we come to the realization that when I started doing headphone reviews, I started doing them because I knew people could only have one. I could only afford one headphone, so I have to find the best headphone for that person, and that was the way it went. But now that I've got 10 up there, these are 11, I got a box with another 6, and then I'm constantly borrowing headphones. It doesn't compute in my brain that, hey, someone might have only one pair of headphones. That doesn't make any sense. If you can only have one pair of headphones, these are not those headphones. And since they're not made anymore, you have to get them used and do hunting. And point being, they don't do bass. So when I put these on, I don't expect them to do low end. What I expect them to do is vocals, highs, imaging, and just enough soundstage. Just let me see if I get to a nice. I reviewed the LCD4s. Actually also this morning. But I reviewed the LCD4s, and the LCD4s, when I talked about those, were just an intense experience that you have to be ready for. You have to like drink energy drinks because it's going to hurt. And these are not at all painful. These are exactly what they look like you're supposed to listen to with them. Is what you should listen to with them. You should listen to classical and vocals and Spanish guitar and same reason I bought my 2000Xs up there was because even though those don't do low end, they never distort on low end, but they are some of the best highs and imaging in the business. And these are some of the best highs and imaging and a touch of soundstage in the business. And they don't weigh anything, and they're made of wood, and I could proudly say they're made in New York because I'm from fucking New York over here. Okay, it's what I got. This is. When you click on the Patreon link in the corner, it says, join Z-Reviews for mostly unbiased reviews. Mostly unbiased, because I'm human. And I'm a little bit biased towards... you would think that, you know, after the last PS500 review where I just shit on them and the whole company, and I was directly talking to John Grado, I was like, hey, fix this shit. And then I get these, and I'm like, hey, fix this shit, but I bought them anyway. I bought them anyway, because they are... just they are a lightweight. They feel like, you know when your soul is heavy because you've just murdered like 6 prostitutes and you don't know where to hide the butt and you feel really down. You put these on and then someone starts blowing leaves in your background of your video and it's fine because this is Z-Reviews that I never redo them unless I take a shit on the floor on the camera. But you're just light. It's just light. There's no... It's not concerning me that, oh, this is just, it's going to play music and I'm going to listen to it and it's going to be fine. Lo Yan is playing, which is like Spanish. Yeah, Weather Channel music. sounds like they're running just people through a wood chipper outside. It's great. This is fucking deal. They don't weigh anything. I can move my head and they don't fall. The LCD Fords were like, even my Etherflow C's, if I just want to relax, they are big, heavy headphones, and these aren't. These are gonna come out when I just want to chill more than almost any other headphone. As soon as I get rid of the fucking this fucking insult. I mean, look, I can understand that, you know, headphones need a good cable because, you know, you want to sell. That headphone enthusiasts know that the cable matters so much. It doesn't. But they just know it, so you have to. But fucking whatever the extra Ford. I'm trying to think what the actual times would be. So they pull them through, they solder on the driver, and they glue them in. So if they pulled it through, then soldered on it, well, they wouldn't even need to pull them through. They would just push it 2.5. It couldn't have taken more than 10 minutes a pair to add detachable cables, and then you have these soldered somewhere else. It's the same exact 10 minutes. 2 people are doing it. It could have been done, and they just didn't do it. Right side, Clyde. Madoka Magica. Very, like, medieval, like, whistling piccolo flute. Perfect. Fucking And it's happening around me, and there's space, and they don't weigh any. I don't feel like I'm wearing them. Here, Rob Zombie. Not heavy like Deadmau5 bass, so still usable. 9 Inch Nails will have. Yeah. So, No You Don't by 9 Inch Nails. It's got that really like intense bass, and I could hear it going like, whoa, oh, don't talk to me. It echoes through this massive wooden chamber because the driver is from the front to the back. This is a big tube, and most headphones that would not work where you put the driver here and just have a wooden tube for 1.25 inches. Like this whole piece of wood around here, not needed. It's not even necessary. It doesn't do anything. I don't think it's wave guiding around this. They could have made these things this tiny, but that wood's just there to look cool. Well, how easy it is to take the pads. I mean, if you had to go with ease of putting pads on and off, there's your winner. And of course, they spin 360 fucking degrees, so if you don't get them right, your thing here will just be a screwed up mess. So they're not distorting on the 9 Inch Nails, but it's definitely like it isn't a happy bass. Wow, perfect music is playing. Bear McCreary, Black Sails OST. I never saw Black Sails, but it's just like pirate music. Pirate music. This is perfect headphones for pirate music, not for pirated music. Pirate music. What are you listening to? Pirate music? You're not supposed to illegally download. No. Pirate music. Fuck. Gotta explain it every goddamn time. That sounds perfect. Some One Punch Man guitar bridge. It's good. It's Wednesday, my dudes. That's who's wearing these. If you have headphones and they're all a little bit heavy and they're all a little bit intense, and it's all a little bit like these are, again, just a unique set. They can't do bass. They have really good vocal clarity. Probably not as good as the 2000Xs, to be honest. 2000Xs up there are just Japanese precision, and these are American precision, if you want to compare them directly. And they have very similar signatures as the 2000X and these. You know, that's the best the Japanese could have done at the time, and these are also old, and these are the best. So you train, so you get that whole comparative. Both have attached cables because both of them suck. You happy? You happy? I've come down and said it. I don't buy headphones unless I love them. Unless something steps up and says, hey, you need to own me because look what I can do. Look what I can do. Look what I can do. I can be this light and this cheaply built, but made in Brooklyn, and sound like this. And if every set of Grados sounded like this, there'd be no other headphones sold. They'd all break because they'd be built like this, but I'm not going to modify anything to do with the sound. The owner also says that he tried them with these pads and he thinks the original pads sounded a little better. And I'm not putting those against my head because they are just fucking filled with cancer. Just... Okay? Ugh. But I might buy another set of the original pads and try that. Running them on tube versus running them on solid state, because it's a Class A. Because you can't knock the Class A. A little bit more width on the tube. Bass doesn't change because they're not hard to drive. Hard to drive headphones usually benefit from a tube more, but these just are wider with the tube. When... Oh, that's exactly what I remember. I remember that vocal just... When I played with them at the New York Audio Show, I remember going, wow, I've never heard vocals. And that's what these do. Yes. So these are a yes. Are you happy now? Are the Grado people happy? Because I said Grado does very good cheap. The 60s, the 80s, I get up on board. My friend had the 325i's, nearly threw up from the highs. I had the PS500s, nearly threw up from the highs. My friend has the RS1s, refuses to let me borrow them because he's a dick. He lives 2 hours. It's just let me borrow them. I want to review the RS1s. So I can't judge those. And then from these from memory and these from me telling you I fucking own them, yes. So you can buy cheap Grados, you can buy expensive Grados, caution in the middle. Sound demo in the description. Patreon link again in the upper right hand corner where there are yard sales now. Every month, 1st to the 10th, I have piles of things that are being sold that I've either bought or been sent by companies and I just don't have the space for them. So you get a chance to bid on those for, well, there's no starting bid, so you could be $1 and win. But those are happening on the Patreon $5 tier. Wallpaper, her in the description. Twitch stream, where this will probably be modified, in the description. And I guess an eBay link to where you might be able to find these, or just GS1000i, Grado. There's a PS1000i which have a metal back, and I haven't spent enough time with those to know if they're worse. I honestly, if you said I had the PS1 or GS metal or wood, I would have taken the wood regardless. Just because that's it. That's the look. That's the look, and I know the sound. Maybe the PS sound better. I don't know. I won't know until someone tells me or let me try them, because I won't know. But that's enough for now. Yeah.